I'm currently in a hotel gym, and I want to show you a quick routine I would do if I was working with someone that has knee arthritis and we had some equipment available. This will help you to see what you could use in a regular gym or when you're traveling, and give you some ideas on how to build leg strength to better support the knees. I would start out on some sort of cardio machine. A lot of gyms usually have stationary cycles, or you can use, say, a new step, which is an alternate type of machine. One thing though you do want to be careful is making sure that it's set up properly. The first thing I look at is straightening your leg. Do you feel like you really have to reach? So if I was really far away, I would really have to reach, and then you might notice some compensations. So first you want to test straight and just make sure you can get relatively straight without reaching. Then you want to make sure that you can bend your knee comfortably, that it's not shoving you into a knee bending that's uncomfortable. If I was too close, this is putting me into a pretty deep knee bend. So once you can get this set up to what feels comfortable to you, which would probably be about here for me, then I would stay here for 5 to 10 minutes. This is helping to lubricate the joint, open up the knee bending and straightening, get some blood flowing. After this, then we will move into some weights. Now, if this is all that you have time for, maybe you just have 10 minutes, this can be a great place to start. One thing is I would play with the intensity a little bit. So you can increase your speed, or sometimes the machines have increasing resistance. Make it a little harder. One routine that's kind of my go-to is trying to go harder for about 30 seconds and then bringing it back to a comfortable pace. Going harder for 30 seconds and then bringing it back to a comfortable pace. That way you can get more out of it than just a leisurely pace. If you do have some time, we stay here 5 to 10 minutes and then we get off and we head to the weights. This is where we would head next if I saw one of these machines. So this is a leg press machine. Now in different gyms, they make different configurations. You might be sitting a little bit differently, but essentially this is working the fronts of the legs or the thighs. You do want to adjust this. When you bring your feet up onto the plate, is this a comfortable position? If you cannot get into this position, you can move the seat back where you're not bending your knees as much. But the goal of this machine is essentially just to straighten your legs against weight and then bring them back. So I would first try go very light on the weight. A lot of them have adjustable weights, just to make sure the range of motion feels good. Then, once you can successfully complete about 5 repetitions, you can start to increase the weight. I would aim for 2 to 3 sets of 5 to 7 repetitions. The goal of this is to reach an adequate difficulty where this is challenging and you're actually building muscle. You want to find a weight that on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being you're not doing anything, you're completely resting, 10 being the absolute hardest thing you've ever done, you want to be about a 5 to 7 out of 10. So complete your 5 repetitions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more, trying not to make it click so loud, and 5. Then I would ask myself, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how difficult was that? I would say for me, that was about a 3 or a 4. So I could go up in weight for the next set. Rest for about 60 to 90 seconds. You can take your feet down, you can get up and walk around, whatever you need to do, and then you can come back and repeat a second and even a third set. Another variation of this is using a light weight and just using one leg. I would recommend doing this if you are already comfortable with a leg press. If you've never used it before, stick with 2 legs, but you can bring the weight down to a very light weight and put one leg up here in the middle. Then you can work on pushing one leg out and then bringing it back in. You know, I am all about single leg strength, so this is a great way to work one leg at a time. Usually you just have a little bit lighter weight, of course, than you can push with both legs. So just another option you can think about. Then I would head over to arguably one of my favorite places in any gym, which is the free weights or the dumbbells. They are so versatile. You can do so many different exercises that sometimes this is all that you need. Since we did work the thighs with the leg press machine, now I want to focus on the backs of the legs and the glutes. One specific way to do that is a movement called a deadlift. Start with lighter weights. For all movements, I like to do at least one warm-up set where you grab a light set of weights or you use the lightest weight on the machine and make sure the range of motion feels good. Feet are about shoulder width apart. Weights are at the thighs. I'm going to let those weights come down my legs as I reach my hips back. Notice my chest is up. It's not rounded down. Then squeeze your butt muscles and allow yourself to stand up straight. Bring those weights down to about the knees and then squeeze up. If you want to make it more challenging, you can go down a little bit further, or you can use heavier weights. One trick I like to use for this though, is sometimes it can be difficult to get the form. If you stand against a wall and take a step forward, small step, focus on touching the wall, which makes you sit your hips back and squeeze up. Sit your hips back and then squeeze up. One common mistake I see with this is people initiate it with the shoulders in the back, so it looks more like this than actually sitting your hips back. I would again aim for about 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 10 repetitions on this. Again, reflecting on how challenging it is, resting about 60 to 90 seconds in between sets. I would then finish out with a balance exercise. So you can use one dumbbell for the exercise I'm about to show you. What I would look for is a corner of a wall. Like here, we do have a little bit of space. It's not a full corner, but I do have some support. When you're trying balance exercises, you want to make sure that you do have support on both sides, especially when you're adding weight. I'm going to stay right here just so you can see me. I'm going to start one foot in front of the other. Take my weight and pass it back and forth. This is one of my all-time favorite balance movements because it tests lateral balance, so sideways balance, which can be great for helping to support the knees. Pass the weight back and forth. Now, the heavier the weight you use, the harder this will be. And then the reverse, the lighter the weight, the easier it will be. Start out light, do your warm-up set on each side. Maybe do 5 passes just to get a good feeling that, okay, this weight feels pretty good, this weight feels light, this weight feels too heavy. Then we will do 2 to 3 sets each side. For this one, I would do 20 passes, meaning 1, 2. One common mistake I see with this is people pass it like this. That's not going to get the benefit that we want. What I'd like you to focus on is trying to get it outside of your base of support. So the wider you go, the harder it will be. Now, if it is harder on your shoulders, just take it as wide as is comfortable. You are essentially just trying to displace your weight to make this challenging. So I would do 20 passes on this side with my feet in this orientation, the right foot in front of the left. Then I would switch and do the same thing on the other side. You can widen your feet to make this easier, make them much more narrow to make this harder. Rest for 60 to 90 seconds and then complete your 2 to 3 sets. I do like to put balance at the end because once your muscles are fatigued, balance becomes so much harder. But that's also when a lot of people tend to lose their balance, is when they're under fatigue. So typically my balance exercises tend to be closer to the end of a workout, so that way you can really test your body and really get some improvements in your balance. If you're looking for more exercise ideas, more ways to get stronger legs and feel more confident, Adventures for Life, my arthritis workout program, is a great next step. I walk you through follow-along workouts where we work on strengthening the right areas, improving your balance, improving your stamina, so you can go out and adventure with arthritis no matter what your fitness level is. Click the link down below to learn more about that program, and I cannot wait to see you inside.